This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
First of a lion can never scare a snake. Ladies and gentlemen, before you is a St.Joseph representative of negative bench, St.Joseph of Nazareth. Resolved, this House of the Judiciary of Uganda will have a system of truth and reconciliation in preference to the current trial and conviction, and I nail my colors to the mast in opposition of this motion. I have a few closely ended questions for you, my fellow farmer, but I have one slight question for you. Do you have morals?
Yes.
So I expect you to answer my questions in truth, since you have morals, with yes or no. Do you understand?
Yes, please.
Do you tell lies?
No, I don't.
So you're self-righteous.
Yes.
Is there truth in trial?
Yes, there is truth in trial.
So you know that people are made to swear to say the truth during trial.
Yes, they are made to swear.
So you do accept that trial is actually fulfilling the goals of truth?
Yes, I do, but someone can swear.
I humbly welcome you to our bench. But no, I am here to show you that this bench is utterly confused because they are contradicting with what they are supposed to say. Next, are you aware that there is a body responsible for truth and reconciliation in Uganda?
Yes, I am.
Are you currently aware that it is inactive?
It is not inactive.
I'm sorry to say, but you're uninformed. I'm yet to clarify whether you're ignorant, but let's move on. Let me tell you as to why this body is inactive. Because it has failed to achieve our team theme of promoting substantive fairness. Next, are you aware that there are some cases where truth and reconciliation have failed and people are currently suffering?
Yes.
Yes. So you are aware about the ADF attack on the school in Kasese?
Yes.
Okay. Rest. Pano, I bring to you a bench that is contradicting. It doesn't understand. It has failed to understand, and I think it is biased by their own understanding. The basis of our argument of the negative bench is to bring forth to you an argument that trial and conviction is actually promoting the goals of truth and reconciliation. Because in Uganda, we know that we are made to swear before we tell the truth, actually before we are tried. And secondly, their third speaker came and said that they are going to punish people according to the gravity of their crimes, which means they're actually trying to implement trial and conviction. So which means they are on our side. And they are contradicting their assessments, they are contradicting their statements, and their first speaker comes and says that their major aim is to achieve justice. How can you achieve justice by reconciling with someone? Imagine you come and kill my mother, and you are supposed to say, I'm sorry, and tell the truth, and we are okay. Is that justice? That is not justice. That is utter rubbish. I'm sorry to say, but I hereby come to prove to you that this bench is ignorant and it's senseless. But now I here stand to enlighten them and bring them to our side and enlighten them and give them some wisdom that trial and conviction in Uganda is actually promoting truth and reconciliation. Because if a person is sentenced and sent to jail, he is actually learning and he's coming to a sense of understanding of normal people. Because we don't expect these ADF these ADF rebels to come and pay compensation. It's impossible. A person sincerely has killed 1,000 people. 1,000 people, and how is he able to compensate? No. This system of truth and reconciliation has loopholes, and we can't accept that. With this, I rest my case.
Resolved. This House, as the Judiciary of Uganda, will have the system of truth and reconciliation in preference to the current system of trial and conviction. Zelaya Hanan, fourth speaker, a farmer's case. I'd like to ask the first speaker a few questions, of the first speaker of the farmer's side a few questions. Do you believe in justice?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Are you sure you'll get justice in court?
Yes.
How sure are you that you are going to win that case, even if you are the victim?
Is that a yes or a no question?
Okay, are you sure that you will win the case, whether you are the victim or not?
It depends.
I requested for a yes or no answer. It's either yes or no. I don't want any.
You didn't.
Okay. Would you rather spend over 500,000 on your court case than sitting down with someone and talking about it to solve future conflicts?
It depends on the circumstance.
I requested for a yes or no.
You didn't.
Are you aware the Truth and Reconciliation solves community disputes faster and easier than court trial?
Yes.
Good. Do you believe in repentance?
It depends.
I asked for a yes or no. Do you believe in repentance?
You clearly understand you have not asked for a yes or no.
Okay. What is the number of people who have gone for trial and conviction and have attained justice?
Is that a yes or no question?
I asked for a number.
There are many. Very many.
Clearly, you have no idea what you are talking about because you've not given me an exact number. How many people have been imprisoned and have actually come out reformed or better than they were before they were imprisoned?
Few.
One can never talk about chili that they have never tasted. Ladies and gentlemen, the judiciary of Uganda has tasted the chili of Ugandan cases for such a long, long time. And we all know that through history, man can forge a better world for tomorrow. That is why the judiciary itself is requesting the citizens of Uganda to adapt to Truth and Reconciliations because there is a large backlog of cases and they cannot handle all of them. You cannot tell me you're going to come and bring a case today and they're going to handle each of the over 500 cases that they have not yet handled. You come calling the first speaker of the negator side, came calling himself the light of the debate, and yet he is not even sure whether the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in Uganda is active or not. We asked the second negator for an exact number of cases that were handled by trial and conviction and have been successful, and she just said that our question was irrelevant. This is a sign that the negators do not have any idea about what they're talking about. I don't even know why they came to this debate in the first place. Dear judges, the second speaker of the farmer's side asked the third speaker that what stops someone to repent. The fourth speaker clearly never knew his side because he came here and introduced himself and as a farmer before he realized he was a negator. I would also like to inform the negator side the Truth and Reconciliation is not active because it is not empowered. But we as the farmers are here to empower it and revive it from its bench. I rest my case.
The main aim and objective of high school Crossfire is to equip us with knowledge and skills for future development. And when somebody is challenging me by speaking to the Constitution as if it's a storybook, then we have to talk after here personally in a camera. Now, going to my few points and where I faulted and how I see one team is taking over this debate over the other is because of the following reasons. You see, when we talk about truthfulness and reconciliation, it's a good idea. That's why we always advise ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution. Apparently, right now, by 2021 on September, this goes to Team Affirmative. The Commission, in terms of truthfulness and reconciliation, was never given a budget. So that means they have in question of how do they seek to be a part and parcel of their issue. Two, goes back to now the team negators. The civil society, its main importance in this role is strengthening democracy and serve as a mechanism for public participation in governance of the nation. So if they talk about civil society, they are just fine because it's a part and parcel of truthfulness and reconciliation. Now, going back to the affirmative case, your case build-up was okay, very fine. You brought up instances where people are committing crimes, every kind of crimes, and how they are given punishment. You said the gravity of punishment depends on. What I never had was to sensitize me. They kept on asking you, Team Affirmative. The ADF. Just recently you saw a young man who went on TikTok and tried to criticize the ADF, how the world, leave alone now the courts of law, the world, how the public opinion judged him. He even came out and said, I'm very sorry for the world because I was looking for views, me thinking I'm just making fun. So when we talk about life of a person, this one party already in question and wounded. Our question is, what are the punishments you can give such a people? So when the team negators came and said, no, that is why we are putting them into prison, to at least have that rehabilitation process. Those ones who want to study law, I'll give you the sections of law where they find murder. That is 187, 189, and 188. That's manslaughter and murder complete in the penal code. Those are, we call them key issues in terms of crimes. If you talk about treason in section 23 of the penal code, these are key terms. You cannot commit treason and we tell you, take a slasher, go there and just sweep. You want to kill our president, our beloved Bajaja? That is a question we have to put into place. So, team affirmative, yes, the strategy was fine. Having in mind that I gave you this resolution today morning, at least you could have answered me the question through your third speaker. How is the question of murder? Listen, one person, if one person dies, that is a loss to the country. Do you know that? One, to the economy, to the political, and to the society itself. Now, going back to the fourth speakers. The fourth speakers, to be sincere, what you are doing today was doing what we call chief in what? Examination, not cross-examination. An examination in chief. That's what you have been doing. You have not been doing cross-examination. Now, this goes to the fourth affirmer. The moment you start your questions of how, you give them a loophole to now even answer you any answer that they want to, because you have no statistics by yourself. That means they have caught you in a trap. The moment you just start saying how many, which, you demand an explanation to them. So next time, look at those things. Chief, cross-examination, and examination in chief.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I want to begin by appreciating both teams. Really, for me, whenever we have, actually, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you see High School Crossfire is still the best and the leading debate platform in this country. Why? One of the issues that make us top always is the type of resolutions we give. And then the ability of different schools and the ability of different teams to come and they substantiate, they elaborate, they expatiate, they make credible submissions that you really don't expect them to make looking at the terms of their ages. Big up to both teams, I really appreciate. When people come here and they talk about the Constitution, people talk about the articles, people are able to know the current status quo, what are we having in Uganda. People are able to know about the issue of truth and reconciliation. People are able to substantiate on the trial and conviction. I credit you guys and I really appreciate you. People are able to know which specific article in the Constitution provides for the work of the judiciary. People are able to know about the Amnesty Act. People are able to know about the existence of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. People are able to draw back even to the issue of the LRA. Credit to you guys. Now this is just a matter of correction to both teams. One, the case of Honorable Segirinya and Honorable Alan Sawanyana, it is not yet decided. They were not acquitted. No, they were just granted bail. So it is not yet a decided case. That is to team affirmative. Then to team negative, in the Constitution we have chapters, articles, clauses. In the Constitution we don't have sections. We have sections in the Acts of Parliament, but that one was not punishable for both sides because already what you portrayed was really motivating. Now, to start with, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the fact that both teams were able to understand that this was a policy debate, and both teams were able to appreciate the necessities, the requirements, and the conditions to be fulfilled in a policy debate. Question number one, never agree to the weakness of a house or a body you have given. This goes to team affirmative. One of your speakers actually came and considered about the ineffectiveness of the Trial and Reconciliation Commission. Because you said, yes, it may be inactive. It is like being in court. You're on the defense team. A person has killed, your client has killed, and you say, yes, he killed, but, oh, he killed not on Monday, on Tuesday. Oh, yes, he stole, but he stole a goat, not a cow. Really, the issue in contention is, did he steal? So now here they were asking that, are you aware that the commission you advocate is inactive, and you can, that is already conceding, meaning it's like we have no causal link and we have no argument in our case. So never concede. Whenever you concede to anything that puts you in a trap, you are destroying your own case. Issue number 2. Whenever your opponents try, yes, for example, team affirmative, you questioned them on the issue of corruption, okay? There are high levels of corruption in the courts. And then they came and they're like, no, what are we going to do? We are going to set up the Anti-Corruption Act. The main policy or the main point of argument for team affirmative was case backlog. They come and told you, no, we are actually going to employ more judges. What I expected you would have come and said, no, but we have seen, for example, the judiciary of Uganda before, under the Judicial Service Commission, it has on different occasions appointed more people on the judges' bench. We have very many judges in Uganda, but we still have a high level of case backlog. So whenever you give an alternative and then your opponents come and discredit and even try to cover up what you have given, and you fail to come and refute, or you fail to come and identify loopholes in what I've given, it is another way of conceding. So when you talk about corruption and they talk about the anti-corruption committee, when you talk about case backlog, they come and tell you we are actually going to employ more people, we are going to employ more judges on the judges' bench, and then back to refute or to rebut or to disagree on what they have substantiated in another way or another. You are just literally conceding to your opponent's case, because that was the main issue of argument, case backlog. They have come, they have given all points that crash on case backlog. You just keep down, you just keep quiet, you don't substantiate on the same. It is another of conceding.
Thank you. So I'm going to be precise. I'm going to try and be precise since most of the things have been pointed out. Now, team affirmative, you came up and I would appreciate your strategy. You came up and told us that we are going to come up with truth and reconciliation as a better strategy to solving crime, to justice. And you were able to try and explain it, I would say that. But I'm looking at where I faulted you. First of all, I was really disturbed by someone giving a source of information as ChatGPT. That I was very disappointed, honestly. Then the other thing, you gave your house as the civil society. Now, these people came up and told you, how are you giving us your house as the civil society? They questioned you, why would you give us your house as civil society? And your reasoning was, because the civil society is not part of the judiciary, it's more independent. But that alone, the civil society is made up by mostly NGOs. The civil society is in no way an implementation body. So at the end of the day, even the justice that you wanted to convey would not be put in place. Then third of all, Team Negative came up and asked you these 3 questions, and throughout, I waited for you to answer these questions as Team Affirmative. They asked you, is there a guarantee that the truth and reconciliation is going to be able to reduce the crime rates in Uganda? Because they showed you how courts have been able to do what? To reduce the crime rate, as much as there is a lot of case backlog. They came up and asked you again, why are we leaving the what? The trial and conviction. Why are we leaving? Show us the need for us to leave trial and conviction. And your only reasoning to that was because of the case backlog. But with even the case backlog, trial and conviction is still being able, because their theme was substantive justice. That was their theme. And for you, personally, I was not convinced by how you are going to be able to provide substantive justice, because they even asked you, how are you going to offer the justice to these people? When someone kills, they gave you an example of ADF. When someone steals and when someone kills 1,000 people, are you only going to tell them, oh, we are sorry? And then you came up and really, the first affirmer came up and said, no, we are only going to preach reconciliation, and forgiveness. I quote the third farmer. You came up and told us, no, if someone has murdered, of course we shall give them a punishment that is due to their crime. That is, you're totally contradicting yourselves. The first person has talked about forgiveness. You're preaching forgiveness. You're preaching reconciliation. And then the other person comes up and says, no, we shall punish. So for me, those were my deciding factors. At the end of the day, I was not convinced fully. I gave both of you 16 for style. Strategy, I deferred. I gave team affirmative 24 and team negative 29. And for content, I gave team affirmative 24 and I gave team negative 25. Totaling up to 64 for team affirmative and 70 for team negative. And it is a unanimous judgment that team negative takes the day.